Another thing that is going on, the school to prison pipeline.
That's
What
a
do you
real
guys
thing.
think about that?
That's a real thing.
What's your experience with that? Because you guys are younger. And see, when I was in school, you know, you get in a fight, you fought. And maybe you get suspended, you get
If
sent
that.
home, your parents bring you back to school, whatever.
Right.
What do you guys think about that?
I think it is a real thing. Let's see. Probably half of the guys who I went to high school with are probably in jail or in prison. And I think that from day one, these kids are the kids that weren't getting enough attention at home. So when they come to the classroom, and I think that the main problem is their teachers don't look like them. So they don't understand them. They don't see them. So if you have a white female teacher, she's already, and I don't care what they say, she's already going to be afraid of this black student who is a male,
Right.
who's loud, aggressive.
You don't see the student, like you said, the teachers that look like the students.
So she just sees a threat because the only time that she sees him is on the 11 o'clock news, when she sees a burglary, when she sees that somebody's just been murdered, she sees that same black face. So then when she sees it in the classroom and sees that he's acting up, he's just like fulfilling all those stereotypes. So I think that that's the problem. Also as well, how they discipline the kids. Like they send them straight to detention or straight to ISS, but they aren't trying to talk to the child first, ask like what's going on at home, any of that. So, I mean, I think that it starts from there. And then as well, like you said, with fights, I remember in high school, if somebody got in a fight, they would take them to jail. And I'm like, this kid's only 16.
In your school?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's different. So,
Like, the kid's only 16, 17 years old. Like, why are you taking them to jail?
when my
That's
first
crazy.
experience with it was when my daughter, I think she was in high school, and she got into a fight, okay, and then she came home and she had a ticket. I was like,
She's
what
a
is
kid,
this?
a kid.
I was like, what happened? And
That's a kid.
and the ticket had a court date.
And how old was she? She was probably like
She
15,
was like
16.
14.
She's a child.
I had to go
A
to
child.
court. I had to go to court.
A child.
It had a court date on it. And I went to the
She
school
out here catching the
like,
case,
why did
man.
y'all call the cops on my kid? She had a fight like a lot of 14-year-olds do. Why
Yep.
didn't you suspend her, call me, whatever?
Right.
No, they called, the cops worked there. I was like, what?
That's ridiculous.
They said they have their own cops.
You do. Inside of the school. And I think that right there, it's like this over policing of the kids already off the rip.
So
you
I-
have cops in the school.
I had to go to the real court, like the.
Yeah,
so
I
since you
believe
have
it.
school police and you have school rules, why don't you have like a school court, or why don't you
Right.
like what we did,
Or
have
again,
them come
just
to the
talk
principal's
to the
office?
children. Like just have them come to the principal's office, ask them what happened, talk to the kids, have them shake hands, have them hang out with each other for
Teach
like 2
them a
class
lesson.
periods, teach them a lesson, have them pick up the trash all throughout schools. Like there's so many different alternatives that they don't take, but they go straight to let's take them to jail. And then from there, I think that teaches that child, like they can get discouraged and say, well, I'm just a criminal now. Like I always get
Right.
in trouble. I'm always getting kicked out of class. I don't belong. So then they're going to keep that same behavior after school. And then that's how they just go straight to jail.
That's right. So I went to a real court. So now my daughter's in front of a real judge.
There you go.
And
So-
I was just still in awe of the whole situation. And I'm like, what do? They make you pay a fine.
Right.
I mean, it's like they mentally preparing you for it.
There
They're
you go.
mentally
Even with,
preparing you for it.
Like some schools, my school didn't. But I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying how, some schools got metal detectors coming in. Like,
Yeah.
why would you need a metal detector to come?
For a child.
I
And
mean,
this
at
is
my
the
school,
thing.
we had like they used to do checks, like police would come there, bring
Right.
dogs and all that stuff. But to have metal detectors to go into your school, that's crazy.
At 15, 16 years old. And then,
Police standing around, like they got guns on them, of course.
and see, here's the
That's
thing.
crazy.
What does that teach you as a child? Like, just deep down inside, like inside of your mind, it's like, I'm nothing. Or at the same time, I'm a threat. Because why do I have to have a police officer with a gun, or why do I have to have a metal detector? But then these same white schools that's getting shot up, they don't have any of this.
And that's what I'm saying. This is just like, and that's what I was thinking. Like the high school I went to, it was a public school, but it was a public in the suburb area. So it was like they didn't have the metal detectors, but the inner city schools had the metal detector, and it's just like it make
And
it
that's
seem
not
like,
where the schools are getting shot up at.
but it make it seem like it just training the black mind like, oh, it's
You're a
normal for
threat.
us to go to jail. Like it's normal for this to happen. It's normal for us to be in and out of jail. Like so,
You're a threat.
it was a point in time like I felt like you had to go to jail. Like it was just a part of life.
Are you serious?
A rite of
Just
passage
because that's
somewhat.
what I seen in my family my whole life. Like
It's a rite of passage.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And I think it wasn't...
Can we just revisit that?
No, I was
what
just
he
about to
just
say
said?
that right now. Yeah, it was a football player, I think, but he said the same thing that Jay Black just said. That growing up, he thought going to jail that was like a rite of passage. Because everybody that you know goes to jail. It seems cool now because you're already getting. And I think that's what people aren't talking about in the classroom. These black kids, black females, black men as well. They're getting kicked out of class. They always are in ISS. Or they're always getting into a fight, but they aren't asking, hey, she doesn't have any food at home. Like, she hasn't ate all day. So that's probably why she's mad at her mom. She's getting beat up at home.
I ain't getting to the root of the problem. Like,
There
it's
you
the
go.
root of people are not just bad.
So
Nobody comes out the womb
this
just
is
acting
what
up.
I'm saying. Instead of having so many police and so many cops and so much
They should have
discipline,
psychologists.
why don't they have like? I never
Counselors.
really understood what the counselors did.
They don't do nothing.
But maybe they should really work on that.
Yeah.
But no, here's what they're doing, and I'm gonna
Instead
give
of taking their money to invest in the security, invest in
their minds, their social, their mental,
Mental
their,
health
their,
for the kids.
Yeah. Okay. Here, this is what it says, and this is from colorlines.com. After Stoneman Douglas High School, you remember that? And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to have like a year-end wrap-up. And one of the things that really struck me about this year was just like the sheer, like how we're just kind of getting used to and desensitized to shootings and mass shootings
Right.
and stuff like that. But after the Stoneman Douglas, do you remember that one? 17 people got killed at Stoneman Douglas
in
High School.
Texas,
It's in
right?
Parkland, Florida.
Oh, it was in Florida. Okay.
So what did the lawmakers do? The lawmakers in Florida have earmarked $400 million to hire more school police officers and to institute additional surveillance tools. Roughly a quarter of that money was directed toward mental health services. So they want more guns in the schools. They want to arm teachers. But guess who faces the backlash of all that? Thousands of students of color condemn the proposal because it always ends up affecting Black and Latino students more than anyone else.
Yeah.
So, a new report we came to learn, a call to action for police-free schools that was released in September by the Advancement Project and Alliance for Educational Justice, amplified the voices of the young people demanding police-free schools. So, there is a movement toward getting more police out of the schools and to have more mental health services in the schools by this group of people. And so you can go on colorlines.com and you can also contribute to this and you can read about all the things that they're doing. Students of color are more likely to attend schools that employ school officers, but not school counselors, just like we just said. Black students are 3 times more likely to attend a school with more security than mental health personnel. So here's some more statistics. 58% versus 40% of Black and Latino students are arrested in school. During 2015-2016 school year, Black girls were more likely to be suspended, 43% as compared to 17% of other nationalities or races.
I believe it.
Black students during the 2015-2016 school year, 31% Black students were arrested at school.
That's cool.
For communities of color that face police brutality, misconduct, killings, everyday harassment at the hands of police, the idea of having those same officers in the hallways of our school is ridiculous. So like Jay Black was saying, I think they're trying to put it in your mind early, like you're a criminal, you need to be policed.
And again, it's a whole nother mental thing where they kind of instilling that fear early too. Like I always bring up the example of, with cartoons, the villain is always in black. As a kid, you kind of like trained and you don't even realize it that
Black cats
is bad.
are bad luck. Bad guys wear
feel
black.
me?
It must have
Now
been a
it's
white
a
guy
black
that started
Christian
all that.
School, now you in school, you see cops and it's like they got them in there like, if you mess up, you going to jail. So they putting that fear in you.
Already.
And they already
Your mind's
put
still
you.
developing. You
It's not even
14
that-
years
yeah.
old going to high school. Your mind is still developing. Even in school, my middle school was crazy.
You're still
like,
impressionable at that age.
my middle school, I don't think we had a few cops, but still, like they just putting that in your mind. Like even if you're not a bad kid,
Still.
they putting a fear in you
Already.
And then you see once you get into the real world, they shooting us because for real they scared because we're not scared of them. So now what they gonna resort to a weapon,
There you
something
go.
that they know we can't. You really can't beat a weapon.
And also, man, as well, because all that stuff is so true. They don't even talk about the curriculum. What are you teaching the kids? Like the first time that all of us learned about who we learned that we were slaves. That was the first time that we learned what black people were. And to that same thing, when you learn about villains always being black, or black being associated with everything that's bad, Black Plague, Black Christmas, evil, all that stuff. So us learning that we were just slaves and we're always learning about somebody else's history, then we don't even feel like we're important. So then that connects to from the home as well, where somebody can be suffering from poverty, a single parent household, gang violence, sexual abuse, all that stuff. So these kids are going through so much. And then, as well, when people talk about soldiers having PTSD, these kids have the same exact thing. If you've seen your friend get shot in front of you, or you see a dead body going to school, they're going through these same things. Or as well, just for us, everyday black people seeing black people being murdered on Instagram, on TV, being desensitized to it.
Or even not even to that extreme, but having to take care of your family at a young age,
working,
seeing your mom struggle, and things like that. Like,
that's sad.
People that scars people, and
nobody talks about that. So we have cops, but we don't have psychiatrists. We don't have actual mental counselors. So again, it shows that they don't care about our mental state. They don't care about the person. They're just seeing us as a criminal. So that's tough.
So what about the latest police shooting? Because since we're talking about that and how I think that we're kind of getting desensitized to it. Yeah. The latest was in Philadelphia.
Jeffrey Dennis, I think that was his name.
So I saw the video, but I didn't watch it because I stopped watching them.
It was like a mob hit. It really was.
So what happened?
So on the clip, just imagine you driving down like Walker Street right now, and you're at a stop sign, and it's a car that tails you from behind, and then you're trying to get out the car and see like who just hit me, and then it's a car in front of you that hits you in the front, and then it's a car that comes from the side.
But why? Who did all that to him? The cops?
Yes.
Why?
Undercover cops.
What were they?
They had no explanation. And on the police report, what they were saying was that he tried to attack them, but they didn't justify why they even pulled up on him like that. And then when they pulled up, he was afraid. So he was trying to drive away just like what anybody else would if you see somebody trying to trap you inside. And the cop positioned his gun to the window and shot in the window and killed him. And they said he was a youth football coach. He just got engaged. He was supposed to get married 2 weeks from now or something like that. And seeing how he was a regular person. And they had no justification of why or who he was, any of that.
He was so the veteran, the cop that shot him was a 29-year veteran. So they have not been charged.
Yeah. And they used the same phrase, the same line. They were in fear for their lives. He was a threat, all that stuff. So it's the same thing. And I think that something that I caught my own self doing was I didn't even feel I felt sad, but at the same time, it's just like another one. So you just keep going because we constantly see this every time now. It doesn't even surprise me anymore. Trayvon Martin, that surprised me. Walter Scott, all those people saying you're bland. But then after a while, it's you don't even feel it anymore.
Wow.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy that we became known to. I don't even watch those videos.
I didn't watch it. I can't watch it
because at the same time too, again with that's conditioning your brain already. Too.
But my thing is, what do we?
Realize what that's doing, what you taking into your body. That's toxic energy you putting into your body watching these videos.
You were watching somebody die.
I stopped watching I stopped going on World Star 2 years ago.
Me too.
I don't go on World Star at all. Me too. Even when I did used to go on World Star, I never used to sit and watch the fight videos.
Oh, that's what they still put fight videos?
I mean, you hit the World Star. You know the content they put.
Every week.
But I didn't know that they still did that.
I haven't been on there, so I don't know. I'm sure they do, though.
Yeah, it's every Friday. It's sick. They're showing people getting knocked out, having seizures, all that stuff.
What?
And then, even to that, the fights, shit, the porn shit, that shit is filling your body.
World Star is a sick site.
Every Friday used to have a compilation of, it had funny videos, it had a fight videos, it had a twerking videos.
But what I'm starting to notice now too is Instagram. It's just leading and bleeding into Instagram. All those videos are leaking and bleeding into Instagram. But anyway, this is why Colin Kaepernick was kneeling.
Right.
In case y'all forgot about that, this
right.
is why Colin Kaepernick was kneeling, because the police brutality got out of control.
And Kim, as you said,
Yeah, I saw it and I
right
couldn't
there.
watch it because it's like, why am I going to do this? I don't even want to do it to myself.
Yep.
They're not charging the officer. They didn't find anything wrong. This happened back in August. I guess they're just now showing it because they just released it.
It just leaked.
But the officer, Nicoletti, will not face criminal charges for firing 3 rounds into Dennis's head and arm, killing the 36-year-old at the scene. The brave officer should never be called a murderer because State Attorney Josh Shapiro has declared it so.
The brave officer. So
Allegedly.
He's just saying, I'm white, so I said so. In so many words. Because I said that he's a hero, so he's a hero. Second of all, you are a trained policeman. You are a servant of the people, of the citizens, and you aim for the head. Why not shoot the tire so then he can't drive away or shoot the leg or something?
What year was Trayvon Martin? 2012?
Yeah, that's crazy. That was a long time ago.
So that was my first. I mean, I want to say that was. I think
That's
that was
the one that you related to the most.
Yeah.
Everybody
I wouldn't
has
even
one.
really say that, but that's when I felt like, me personally, I really started paying attention to the police brutality.
Started to wake up somewhere too.
So that was what, 8? But how long ago was that?
6.
6 years
Yeah.
ago. I feel like what
6
have
years
we
ago.
done to figure this situation out? Like,
So
to
we
stop
figured
this
out
situation?
why it's happening, and we figured out how the government is like trolling us with it, and we started boycotting the NFL. That's what we did. Because at some point it had to come down to money, and it had to come down to that's the only
But-
thing that they do. Because when they do bring criminal charges against these people, or when they do find that there was some wrong or malice intent on behalf of the officer, then what do? They give them money. They all
Pay
give
them
them.
off.
They pay them off. Not really pay
Oh,
them
yeah, I
off,
mean,
but they like
have like a GoFundMe for him or
Well, no,
pay him.
the like when there's a lawsuit, because it's never criminal. It's always civil.
Yeah, the
that
civil
the
lawsuit.
families win. So when they win the civil lawsuits and they get the money, so they started being proactive about it, and they're saying, okay, we see the NRA and we see what you guys are doing, and we see all these companies that, are a part of that money grab that is telling people that you should all have guns and telling people that,
Yeah.
The officers, the people that stand behind and the blue and da-da-da-da-da.
What was it?
So they started
Blue Lives
boycotting
Matter.
it. Blue Lives Matter.
But
Yeah,
I think
the blue law.
I think the NFL is a small part of this whole picture.
Tiny
because.
But where do you start? It was just a start.
but
It was just
I don't
say
think
that
the
we could get
NFL
together on something.
I don't think the NFL is the place to start at all. I just feel like the only reason the NFL is involved is because a worker of the NFL decided to use the NFL's platform.
There you go.
If a worker of the NFL never used the platform, the NFL would have never even been involved in this.
It's facts.
If
These
we-
police killings, I feel like it's something like we feel bad about it. We get mad about it. Like,
Yep.
but as I always say, like, what solution are we putting in place? We tried to do the marching. We tried
Right.
to do the Black Lives Matter movement. It brought awareness. Everybody wanted to bring the awareness. We brought that awareness. Like, now what are we like? What do
just
we want?
like just
What
like
do
the
we want?
just like any other boycott, just like when the Montgomery bus boycott, when everyone stopped riding the bus, like
But
for real.
What did they want from that? What did they want to achieve from that? From them stop.
Us to not have to like ride on the back of the bus,
Right,
For
they
us
had
to
a
have
goal.
equal rights on the bus.
They had a goal.
right.
Like,
So everybody wants to have a movement, but nobody wants to move.
that's true. That's true. Cause like,
I mean,
even
what are
with
you
the
willing to give up? Do you know how long that bus boycott was for? Those people just walked.
It was for like a year and a half.
They didn't
right?
have any way to get there, but they got there. They did what they had to do. They helped each other out. They said, "I'll take you," or "We'll walk
Carpool.
together," because
Yeah.
they stopped. They just said, "We can't take it anymore."
And I feel like-
we haven't gotten to that point because as a black community, we haven't gotten all the way together. It's like every time something happens, it affects a certain group of people. Like Trayvon Martin, I think it affected a lot of young people
It did.
because he was a kid and he was just walking to school. It affected a lot of parents because he was a kid and he was just walking to the store, whatever. Sandra Bland affected a lot of single women.
Black women,
Sandra
yeah.
Bland affected a lot of college students because she was in school and she was doing this, she was doing that, she was active, she was being. Everyone, I think, affects a certain group of people. Like when that one kid got shot on his bachelor party night. And, it
Yeah.
just affects. And once we all get together, like, I just really still have hope. I'm sorry.
But
I
I
really
think-
still
I
have
think-
hope.
this is just my opinion on what a solution
not
would be. If we feel like the police are the problem, and just like you said with the boycott, with the bus boycott, they got to helping each other. Like, what do you need? How can I help you? I feel like we should start policing our own community.
Absolutely.
I mean, the police is still gonna be the police, but I feel like we should still have our people in the community policing, because we gonna be like, if a younger kid is messing up, we gonna know how to talk to that younger kid. We not gonna resort to shooting this younger kid.
Just
this
like
younger
in
kid
school.
can try to swing on us and all that. We gonna be like, we gonna understand that, and we gonna sit them down. We might have to rough them up or whatever, but it's like we can relate to our kids, and I feel like a lot of us, most of us, even include myself, we all stuck in our own worlds. So it's like, man, we don't really care about what's like, if it's not really affecting us.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. I think that's really the big problem. Like we just out in our own worlds.
That's it. And I think, everybody has like this mindset of I gotta get mines. Everybody's so individual. Like it's not about this collective.
And it's crazy. It's like people, like, as much as social media brings people together, it separates people too, because like it's only bringing us together through the phone. You'll be in a room full of people and everybody's on their phone. Like, what sense do that make?
I tell people that all the time too, man. Because
You're
it's
more
crazy.
social on a social network than you are in person. That's crazy.
Bro, funny thing is, man, it was a guy who I met. He had like 5 million subscribers on YouTube. Met him in person. He was so awkward, like so socially awkward. But then on the camera, he's he's comfortable, he's confident. But then in person, he's not confident. And even like going to class, like you'll see people bumping into each other because they're staring at their phones. Like nobody's just like appreciating, hey, it's a sunny day. Like I'm gonna just walk. I'm gonna tell somebody, hey, if I see him.
But even,
hey, what's up?
there was an article, and even the people that created Facebook and helped started this social network revolution, they said that it's going to destroy communication, it's going to destroy relationships. They knew that. They don't even let their kids use it.
Exactly. And I think
they know exactly what they were doing. That's our fault for not saying. I mean, even my daughter, and I know I got on her nerves, but she moved out when she was like 18. But I'm saying, I used to be like, put your damn phone down. What are you doing? Put your phone down. If you get off the phone, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But even if it didn't really stop her, at least I planted that seed. Like, you have to stop with the damn phone. I don't care.
Embrace the moment. And I think as well, even when it comes to cases like, I think Eric Gardner as well, when somebody was recording that, somebody should have as well been talking to the police or doing something. Like, recording is cool, but it's really not useful if you're just standing there. Like somebody has to do something.
That's what I said. I think we were talking about this on another episode. I'm like, these people they're not even really getting paid for these videos.
Right.
Like, so what are you recording for? Just to say, oh, I got it. I'm the first one. I got this video.
Yeah.
All these
networks,
TMZ, Fox, CNN,
using your video.
This, you're not getting no royalties, no nothing off them playing this video. This video is played. It went viral on social media. You're not benefiting from that at all. What your name is on the. Your little
that little
name
corner.
is on
That's it.
You feel me? What,
Follow me.
More followers?
Follow me. Follow me.
On, man.
But it's crazy too, man, because I think that affects activism as well. Because I think that when
like, are you doing it for the right thing? Are you doing it so people can see you?
Hashtag.
I don't like that.
Right, like so, like if connecting the dots. If we see something and we get that on video and we post it, I don't feel like we I guess I'm part of the problem, because we're going to come on the show and discuss it.
It's a media platform.
Right.
There you go.
So
it's different, man, because I think, again, in Black Mirror on Netflix, if you guys ever get the chance, check out that show. Like, it's so deep. But they had this one episode, and it was about the same issue. It was a woman who witnessed a murder, but she recorded it, but she didn't stop it. And then her punishment was that she would get amnesia every single day, and there would be somebody chasing her, trying to kill her, but nobody would help her, and they would just record it. So she had to feel like that same pain. And I think that people's problem is, like, we're so unplugged from reality, from society, from just talking to each other, that we think, hey, if I see something that's wrong, or if I see like police brutality, I'm gonna just pull out my phone. And I think that we should have, of course, some people filming it, but at the same time, we should have more people stopping that cop. I mean, I don't care if it takes you jumping on the cop, pushing him off, or something.
Because, I mean, we see that filming it, it's on film and they still getting off.
Right, so somebody do something. Yeah,
they so bold. They so bold and disrespectful that they put the cam on the cop,
the body cam,
and let you see it from the first person view and still get off. Like, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. That's
why we need to vote and have local law enforcement, the mayor, and people that really understand that there's some bad cops out there, just like in Dallas, right? Through all that stuff that's going on with Botham Jean, and even though the district attorney baton is being passed to someone else. The new one is just as adamant about, convicting police officers as the other one was. Like, you have to make sure that the agenda of the person that you're voting for know who's ahead of what. Who's the head of the police department in Atlanta?
And it's like most people don't
Who's
even know.
the head?
Yeah.
How did that person get there? Are they elected or are they appointed?
Yeah.
Who is appointing them? You know what I mean? Like, that's why I give props to all the people that really get involved and really help out and help spread the word. And that's what we plan on doing here. Like, we just want to help out, spread the word. So if you see anything, follow us on Instagram, Connecting the Dots ATL. Let us know, like, yo, this is going on. We'll try to figure it out. We just want to have an open forum, open discussion, and make sure that we're able to reach out to people. Sometimes we may clown and we talk about stupid stuff, but hey, that's life. But at the same time, we always want the main focus of it to be that we are putting out good information, getting good information. Even if you say something that I say is wrong, I be seeing your little comments on YouTube. Somebody said I talk too much, but what am I supposed to do? Steve?
Right.
What am I supposed to do? But like I said, we open and we're open to all information. So, follow us and let us know.
Yeah.
Before we do, since we kind of on this topic, I saw it this past week. Remember the rally that was going on? I think the KKK had some, but the dude ran over. He ran through with the car.
Charlottesville. Yeah.
I think he got convicted.
Yeah.
For his crime. I don't know how long, but I think that was I just wanted to.
That took long enough, man.
Make note of that.
Yeah,
That's
he was
crazy.
crying too. He was crying.
Man, I don't want to hear that.
He was crying at the thing to his mother.
And Kim, speaking on that same thing too, man. I saw the video about that, and it was a guy named Jesse Lee Patterson. I was checking out all the black conservative YouTubes because I'm just trying to see other people's views.
Right.
But hearing a black man say, well, they had a permit to protest there, so it doesn't matter what happened, and that it was the black people who enticed them and made them do that. But I don't think that we aren't doing like what Jay Black said. We aren't doing enough sometimes. We had somebody who was run over by a car. We don't have black. We do have black, organizations like NAACP, but we have to actually have something where if somebody does something to a black person, we can do by any means necessary or anything.
We do. That's what they were there for. The girl that got hit by the car in Charlottesville, they were a part of a group of protesters.
Okay.
We have the new Black Panther Party. We have a lot of people, the Black Lives Matter movement. We have a lot of people that are out here doing what we can do. But a lot of people are saying that they need to have a black group that's just as radical as these white people are.
That's all I'm saying. We got to have that same energy. And I'm not saying, go out and kill people. But at the same time, we have to match that same energy. How they have the NRA, they have the alt-right. We need that same type of thing because sometimes, you have to have that crazy older brother. You always need something. We can be PC and, we can be the ones that can be the MLK types, but you still need your Malcolm X's as well.
And then the only Malcolm X's that it seems like we have are the ones that are on the internet.
Exactly. And that's what I mean again, only on social media with the hashtags, posting stuff. But then when it's time to be in person, boots to the ground, nowhere to be found.
So yeah, the guy that ran over the girl in Charlottesville got convicted of murder. First degree murder too. Good. So he's in Virginia. Do they have the death penalty in Virginia?
I hope he's not in general population, man.
James Alex Fields Jr. acted in self-defense at a Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville in 2017. Jurors also convicted Fields of 8 other charges, including aggravated malicious wounding, hit and run. He's 21. He drove to Virginia from Ohio to support the white nationalists. So he got convicted. He'll be in jail with a lot of the others.